There is a big bird in our tree. Now obviously I had too much chocolate or caffeine to make me jumpy to be able to focus in really good on this bird. But the thing was huge, just going through my property, flying overhead, and it just flew away. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to follow it with the camera, but this is Safe Weather meteorologist John Paul. Looking at a pretty nice day. A couple puffy clouds around. Off in the distance. Mostly a blue sky. In fact, the more I look up above, the more blue I see. Got the sun peeking in here through the tree. All in all, not a bad day. This broadcast isn't necessarily devoted to any particular forecast, as I haven't looked at the weather in a while. The forecast, the models, and so on and so forth, and you know, getting a look at the sky again. Just doing a little reflection on what kind of a weather organization this is. Right now, as the camera tilts down every time I look for my notes, you know, tripods are a good thing, and I certainly need one. So, one of my reflections today upon the weather, about my mission, about my whatever this weather organization called Safe Weather is supposed to be about. By the way, at www.safeweather.wordpress.com, got a whole bunch of different things. Philadelphia forecasts that have been done, well, not for several days. I can't remember the last time I did one. But doing other commentaries about the weather have been generally what I do. One of the things I was focusing on today is the idea about forecasting in general. There are some weather groups out there that just pride themselves on showing the world how they know the weather and how they can just make a forecast and say, see, this is what I did, this is what I said, aren't I great? Well, that makes a lot of money for them, so I'm glad they can pay their bills that way. Unfortunately, this whole weather business, maybe not the whole thing, but there's a portion of it that those in the field of weather forecasting do sort of hone in on, and you know, in the world of money and earnings and bills, making money and finding a way to do it is a very good thing. I certainly have a lot of admiration over my years for companies that have done that, aspiring to be on their payroll And I don't know. In this video commentary that I'm doing now, the idea, the catchphrase comes to mind, and it's called ignorance is bliss. Now, certain cultures within human society like bliss, perhaps more so than other people, to where they can perhaps have means to make things as comfortable as possible for themselves. Some people are like that, and they don't have lots of money to be able to make things as comfortable for themselves. But you know, there you have the differences between the rich and the poor. At least one of the differences. How does that play all into the world of weather? Well, or even have anything to do with what I'm talking about? One of the things that I like to remember every so often, and sometimes I'm not so able to remember it as often as I'd like, so maybe this little video commentary on the 16th day of August 2012 can be a more tangible reminder than just from the power of the keyboard and the computer screen. Though those of you who may be watching this now are going to be using those same computer screens and keyboards to bring this video up. Anyway, ignorance is bliss is important because there's a lot, I don't know about a lot, but there are organizations within the weather forecasting industry that will say, I think this is going to happen. This is a pretty good chance of happening. And we want to be right. We want to show the world we're right. Let's focus on this. Let's not so much emphasize what we don't know. But let's say, oh, tomorrow's going to be windy. Okay. Forecast comes tonight, cool, comfortable, some clouds. Tomorrow, let's say a front goes through or something's going on, and man, is it going to be windy. Nothing else is talked about but that wind. And the day comes and goes. The next day is here, the wind is there, the weatherman is the hero of the day. I remember my college meteorology courses. A lot of math, a lot of theory, a lot of guessing, a lot of, let's take a hypothetical situation. Let's take something that doesn't happen in reality. And let's just focus on the wind speed, let's focus on the wind direction, the temperature, the pressure, and, well, there's other parts of this equation. We're not going to worry about those. Because this weather idea is based on these things and it works on these things. Never mind the fact that, you know, this type of hypothetical situation does not occur in real life. I remember my meteorology classes to some extent having discussions, lectures like that. And that's a little bit of a flavor of what is done in traditional forecasting. Let's focus on what we know, what we are painting a picture of for the forecast. There's some details we're not so sure. We're not going to mention this. We're going to hone in on what we know. Heat wave coming. Oh, is it going to get cold? How cold? Well, you know, they'll give us a number. They'll change it a few times and not say so much. And then, wow, it gets cold. The weatherman's a hero. Or the heat wave. Boy, it arrived. And aren't these weather people worth their 6 figures that they make in those big expensive TV stations? But what about the other weather? Talking about, well, they said 87. It got a little warmer, or they said it was going to be mostly sunny, and well, the clouds didn't really go away. Or they said it would rain tonight, and well, it was raining at lunchtime tomorrow. And I remember last night they were saying that it would rain last night, but they didn't say anything about lunchtime, and it's raining. And you can find something wrong with the forecast the closer you look at it, the more details about the weather you focus in on. But you don't hear a whole lot of oh, this and that and the other thing, and long-winded discussions like, you know, every possible minute detail of what could happen, what couldn't happen, what's going on, what's not going on. These are all important stuff, important things. Grammatically, I'm no grammatarian or grammar expert, whatever the word would be, but the picture that the weather people paint on TV makes them look so good. And well, they're doing things that we couldn't do a generation ago, a couple generations ago, maybe 50, I don't know how many generations. But it wasn't that long ago that we could say it's gonna rain soon because there's a front that's coming, and the ability for us to see that front coming didn't always exist. So these weathermen have got something going on that's pretty darn good. However, there's a limit to what we know. And because that's not comfortable for us, we want to know what's going to happen. We want to be able to say, well, we can't have this picnic that we're planning because of this rain, and we need to know what the forecast is going to be 3 Tuesdays from next Saturday. And so we kind of put the blinders on to some extent. We listen to the little bit of information that our weather people are telling us, because not a lot of them say a whole lot. You get a quick generic 5 to 7 to 14 day forecast, temperature high and low, and a cute picture of a cloud and the sun, maybe a thunderbolt or a raindrop or a snowflake, and you don't really get a whole lot else. There's a whole lot of wiggle room for us weather people to change things without making a big fuss over it and having a big pity party for how we got it wrong. Well, let's just change this and we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about our successes, about how we said the front was coming and well, here it is. We're not gonna talk about how we were a little bit off on when it came. We're gonna sell this product of, we're going to focus on this and ignore the smaller detail to some extent. Ignorance is bliss. In weather, bliss is selling. And Safe Weather exists at www.safeweather.wordpress.com because when we're in a state of bliss, the weather will surprise us. There's probably a bunch of different terms you can think of to describe what the weather does to us. Some of it is a nuisance, some of it's an inconvenience, and some of it rips our house apart and leaves us homeless and migrating across the country depending on the severity of what in the world just hit us. So we're gonna stop playing games with weather here. I have all the respect in the world for what our weather people do in this day and age, like I mentioned before, because of how we can see things move across the country in the computer models, giving us an idea of how to fill in our suns and clouds on our 7-day forecast graphic to let us know whether it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Not really focusing so much on how these models change daily and often don't agree on every minute detail. The miracle of it is that we're seeing weather form in these models long before the cloud even comes into being, and that's quite an amazing accomplishment that the weather field has done, that we can all be thankful for in this day and age, 2012. But we're not there yet, and to be honest, we're not ever gonna be. And this is my job. I'm John Paul Sinweski. I'm a meteorologist. safeweather.wordpress.com is my business. It is where I talk about stuff like this. Maybe not so much everything that I've mentioned now, but it is what's going on inside my head, inside my heart. There are people who are dying inside because the weather hit them so hard and so bad that they don't know what in the world is going to happen. They don't know where things are going. And I care about those people. Those are my family. Those are the people across the street, the people across the country, Gulfport, New Orleans, across the globe in Myanmar. There's countless other places where floods and horrible weather just take things and don't give it back. Because we get surprised, because we don't get the full story. We're never going to get the full story, but when we get more of the information, like what I'm saying, so that we might say, hey, Mr. Weatherman, Miss Weather Girl, Mrs. Weather Woman said this, and they didn't say A, B, C, D, E. They just said smiley face, happy sun, raindrops, flooded roads on your afternoon drive, but they didn't say everything that Mr. John Paul, meteorologist at Safe Weather, has mentioned. I don't know anything, I don't know everything either, but my thing is that if I tell all my viewers, all my readers, what I see is going on, even if it doesn't sell so much to a real big weather forecasting company because it produces the idea that, well, these weather people aren't always right, and let's go to somebody who says they're right because I wanna know what's going on. I want to be happy. I want bliss. And well, it's true it didn't exactly get up to 90 the other day, but it got hot, and you know, and these guys are awesome and they rock. And ignorance is bliss. We can be happy if we all live in our own little world of whatever world we're living in. I'm guilty of this as well. But if we want to live a life where we can see the danger coming more often and give ourselves the heads up more often and the chance to run and hide if necessary in extreme, very extreme cases, of course. Days like today, it's like, what are you talking about? There's not hardly a cloud in the sky. There's a couple, but you know, you're getting way off the charts here, dude. And I'm way out of focus. There we are. But I'm rambling, but I hope that somebody watching this can get a feel. I'm going to talk more about this. I'm going to listen to what I say. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to make this. I'm a whole lot better of a writer than I am a talker. I can get my point across. I might not say it real coherently in the most grammatically awesome fashion that is what everyone is used to with the super wonderful weather people on TV who are good looking and eloquent, but for me it takes a little longer. But bear with me, we'll ride this ride together. Anyway, safe weather is here because we're a blissful people. We're living ignorance. I don't blame anybody for it. I'm not, you know, I'm ignorant. You know, people do things that are, you know, if something is not nice, we try to avoid it. The path of least resistance type of thing. We'd like our bliss. Anyway, I should probably end this so this kind of gets on the air soon and doesn't take forever to download because it's so long. But anyway, look for my future videos. This is possibly the first of more video commentaries. I'm doing the video commentary because I don't have time to sit and type. Not yet. I will soon though. So, I hope you remembered all I said or watched again. Things, they are changing. Safe Weather is a growing organization. Its viewers, its audience, I hope, becomes one that can make me somebody who can be a paid weatherman again. Until then, this is Safe Weather, meteorologist John Paul. Thanks for watching. I know you got boring, dull clouds to look at here, but thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. This is Thursday, August the 16th, 2012. Meteorologist John Paul signing off. Thanks. Take care.